uh, cash flow of the firm. These are called so-called income investors, and some people are more interested in the growth of the firm. So the growth-oriented investors would be interested in the uh, you know later part of the firm. On the other hand, other investors would the income investors would be interested in short-term income. There are all sorts of different investors. So if you can kind of do all of these, you can sell uh, your stuff a lot easier. Let's talk about the preferred stock. A preferred stock is basically a stock that pays constant dividends ad infinitum. Okay, so let's just do this. It pays 325 in perpetuity. Current price is 104. What's the required rate of return? We don't need the template for this because for preferred stock, price now is equal to dividend now divided by discount rate, or discount rate is uh, dividend now divided by price now. So for this problem, let's go ahead and do it. 104 and 325. So 3.13%. Or you can go ahead and do it here. Oh, by the way, if you have too many inputs and you want to get rid of them, just click on the cells, rows that you want to get rid of. Use this trash button. So in this case, I have 325. Terminal goal to 0, but I'm looking for the required rate of return. And that's 104, which is obviously exactly the same thing that we found. This is rounded up. That's why I like doing it in Excel. Remember, adding some extra digits to your display never kills you. In fact, it never harms you at all. But if you simply leave this like this, remember, this is going to be a multiple choice exam. Some of the answers will be 3%, some of them 3.25, whatever it is. If this is all you see, and if you don't think about it, you may end up choosing 3% as the answer, and that won't be the correct answer. That's because you rounded things up too much. Excel internally doesn't make any distinction, but just put some enough digits so that you don't get killed by rounding off. Let's do the next problem. Okay, growth rate. We haven't covered this on this chapter, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, we did valuation based on multiples, so let's kind of do this. Let's do it here. This is number 10. We know the EPS, 527. The benchmark PE, is 18. What stock price would be appropriate? Basically, stock price should be such that EPS times benchmark PE. So in this case, 527 times 18, 94.86. In fact, if that is the price and you calculated the PE, it will give you 18. Well, if it is 21, of course, it's going to give you uh, a little bit higher. So the higher is the benchmark PE, the higher is the price appropriate for the company. Okay. I'm not going to do that because I want to ask something like that. Let's do this non-constant growth. It's a young startup company. No dividends will be paid on the stock over the next 9 years because the firm needs to plow back its earnings to fuel growth. The company will pay a dividend of $18 per share 10 years from today and will increase the dividend by 3.7% per year thereafter. That's the required rate of return. And what is the current share price? This is what we call a two-stage growth model. Now, I know the dividends for the next 10 years, okay? Let me make this full screen so that I get more real estate. But, you know, actually, the first 9 years, it's nothing, okay? And then it's going to pay 18. Oh, by the way, my unknown is the market value, okay? And required rate of return is 11.5. And the growth rate after that is 3.7. Just read off the value, okay? I mean, basically, the value of the dividends from the first 10 years is 1614, and after that, uh, it's a lot higher. Okay, that's the present value of the terminal value. So that means that's the present value of all the dividends starting year 11 until infinity. This kind of seems low to me. Oh, I need to explicitly enter zeros because the formula I use needs to know that they are explicitly zeros. Okay. So whenever there's a zero on those dividends, don't just leave it blank, enter zero explicitly. And just read off the value from there. You see how convenient this template is? Even though that's a very complicated problem algebraically, it doesn't create an issue. Non-constant dividends. Well, we did something like this before. Okay, let's do this one. The corporation is expected to pay the following dividends over the next 4 years: 13, 10, 8, and 315. After that, they pledge that they're going to increase the dividends by 4% growth rate. That's the required rate of return. What's the current share price? Again, I know the first 4 years, so I'm going to get rid of these rows. And these are also not there. 13, 10, 8, and 315. Required rate of return is 10.5. And what's the growth rate? 4. Just read the value from there. Okay. Or for this template, you can also read off the market value. Let's see. This is similar in nature, but we just have to construct the dividends for the let's see, next 3 years. Next 3 years, dividends are going to grow at a rate of 30%. After that, it's going to go down to 4%. We know the current dividend is 295. What's the current share price? Well, in fact, in this case, I don't even need this. Well, year one dividend is 295 times 1 plus 30%. Year two dividend is year one dividend times 1 plus 30%. Year three dividend is year two dividend times 1 plus 30%. You could also calculate these on the side and just enter the numbers. And discount rate 10, growth rate after that is 4. Just read off the value. Is that clean enough, guys? Or Brennan, Zalen checked off? I'm also kind of getting towards the end of my voice. If you want, we can stop here today. I'm going to do another session on Tuesday. I'll concentrate more on chapter 11 on that. Is that a good deal? Okay. You too. Bye bye.